So let's begin part 3 of this search engine journaling lesson. Let's just take a step back. So I came up with a new search query in which I'm just trying to find relevant results for the one component of my query that is very hard to define precisely. And so this is the query that I have, and I'm taking a look. And so when I took a look at the third one, I thought this was really interesting here. The third result, hovering over a stranger and entering into his consciousness. Well, that sounds interesting. Let me just edit. Oh, I can't. Okay, let me find this here. So this is where it was here. The narrative movement of this chapter was weird for me. Originally, the narrator felt like me, Dan Shaun, the author, but then it moved into a more chilly and abstract omniscience, as if a little spark of myself had disconnected and was free-floating through the world, out of the body travel, and then I found myself hovering over a stranger and entering into his consciousness, becoming part of the scene and taking on his life story and personality. I realize now that I was trying to model the process of transference, to describe in shorthand the way imaginative empathy works. You are not in Los Angeles any longer. You have become that melancholy middle-aged guy pumping gas in upstate New York. Well, it sounds like we have an author who is putting into his words, describing something very similar to what Nadi was talking about. So what I did is I just copied this, and then I pasted it here. And I read it, and I just bolded keywords, phrases I thought was interesting. Entering, taking on his life, personality, taking on his life story, transference, imaginative empathy. And I decided to add 3 of those words, personality, imaginative empathy. And I came up with another search query. And let me just do that really quick. This next search query. And then I had more results. And what I decided to do was I had a thought. I wondered something about imaginative empathy. I wondered if that was his phrase or if that was actually a phrase that he'd heard of before to describe this idea. So I typed in author imaginative empathy because I wanted to see if I just intuitively decided to put author. I didn't have to. It's something a novelist does. And this was really interesting. Look at the first results there. Imaginative empathy is defined as an individual's ability to imaginatively take the... Let's see what the rest of that is. That sounds very promising here. As soon as this downloads, we'll take a look there. Imaginative empathy is defined as an individual's ability to imaginatively take the role of another so as to understand and accurately predict that person's thoughts, feelings, and actions. So it sounds like it's an actual phrase that he wasn't simply coining, but it sounds like it's actually out there in the literature. It's not exactly what Nadia is talking about. I would say it sounds like Nadia is talking about a rather profound example of this. So I decided that instead of being characters, I decided to just try putting their imaginative empathy. I thought perhaps this is a better way to describe that. And then I'll tell you what I did in my next lesson because I'm out of time.